Hey guys, I'm Mindy and I'm coming today to talk to you about a 4-letter word. It is actually even a 4-letter word that starts with the letter F. I'm just going to let all those F letters and F 4-letter words come in your head before I tell you what it's all about. There's a word that affects us all. It stops us from doing what we should do, what we think we should. It stops us many times from completing an action that we know we should, or that, gosh, I would love to, but I'm too. Today we're going to talk about fear. But before I talk about fear, my name is Mindy. I began being a coach about 8 years ago. I had no idea what I was doing. I was skeptical, I was trepidatious, but what I did know was this. The people who mentioned it to me, I loved and trusted them. The people who I had lost weight with were offering something great. I already knew that I loved to be fit. I'm not an athletic person. I can't beat you in a basketball game. But if it's about will and determination and encouraging other people, sign me up. It was nothing in my mind that was that big of a decision. And my main reason was it wasn't very expensive. And like I said, 2 of the people that I love and trust the most said, you might as well do it. And then I thought, why wouldn't we get a discount? And plus, I talk to people every day about how I've lost my weight or, how they can do it and just get through tonight, you'll be fine, tomorrow's a new day, that kind of stuff. And I realized, I think that's a lot maybe of what this business is. But seriously, 8 years ago, I was afraid too. I grew up chubby. So let's just talk about that for a minute. Why would anyone talk to me, especially the people that knew me years ago, because I was the chubby girl? Do you know what I mean? What do I know about fitness? Now, in my adult life, I got smarter, of course, with eating and working out and things like that. But I was afraid how people would judge me. I was afraid what people would say. And here's what I thought. Not that they would judge me for doing it, but I always thought, what are they thinking about me? Because they're thinking, what does that girl know? She's always been fat or chubby. And I hate the word fat, please forgive me. But that's the words that I heard growing up. And I started working this business and loving it and realizing it has nothing to do with my background. I mean, it can if it's going to help give you power to move forward, but none of that negative stuff. Another thing I realized is I don't care what anyone thinks. I have a deep passion that comes from a purpose in this business that I never thought I could have. And I want to share some of those things with you because I know you have to be feeling the very same things that I felt and that some of these girls running this group have felt. So number one of the things people think about all the time is, well, what will people think of me? Oh my gosh, what are they going to think? Oh, they're going to see me doing this, and what are they going to think? Or if I ask them about being a coach, what are they going to think? First of all, nothing that anyone else thinks can ever hurt you unless you let it. Other people's visions and ways of processing has very little to do with you and everything to do with what they're dealing with, how they've grown up, and many times it's kind of things they have twisted in their head. So I decided, you know what? I don't care what these people think about me. I'm not going to hold this back from anyone. So number one, we have to not care what other people think because of this. It's not about us. It's about helping other people. If we make it about us, then it's very selfish. And of course, what do they think about me? Me. And by the way, we've all thought this, but I'm just trying to express to you, if we're so worried about what everyone else thinks of us, then we're not worried about anyone else. And in this business, you have to realize this is about helping others. And I just can't imagine what my life would be like today if Shalene, because she had mentioned it to me, I was a presenter for her, but my trusted manager and friend and one of the hardest working people I've ever met, Christine Dwyer, mentioned it and basically said, I think you should do this. What if they were so scared about my judgment of them? What if they were so scared about the things I would think or say that they didn't share that with me? I have no words. I would be devastated. I would be so upset thinking all my friends or all the people I look up to are just living this life and I'm still, busting my butt for every penny. And what if they were so scared and didn't share it with me? What if, and I say this out of love, what if they were so selfish and worried about themselves that they were too afraid to go, look, I don't know that much about it, but I signed up. Here's why I signed up. And I just think that you would like this. I don't know if you just want it for a discount. I don't know if you want to do for the business, but I'm all in and I'm going for it. I don't know everything, but I know this much. And to be quite honest, when I signed up to be a coach, I signed up to be a coach on the same day Janelle did. And I signed up, I think, with 6 people. And I went to them, and this was before I signed up, like just imagine. And I went to them and I just said, okay, look, I don't know what this is going to mean. I don't know what will happen in the future, but what I do know is this. And then I simply filled in the blank with every one of my girlfriends. And actually I had one guy too. And they were just people I liked. We trusted each other. We knew each other from various parts of life, some of us from church, some of us from the gym, some of them were people I had, got to teach. And what ended up happening was they were like, okay, I get it. And all I did was tell them what I knew, which was so like small amount, it was this much information. I go, all I know is it costs this much and you get a discount and you can maybe make money and it's fitness and we already do it anyway. So like I had such little information. If I would have thought too long about how inadequate I was to express it to them, I may have never done it. So I want to lovingly recommend you kind of take yourself out of the equation. Think about those people that you want to talk to and just focus on the task, not the outcome. Focus on the task of, okay, I'm just going to mention this to her and I'm going to tell her I don't know that much, but I can't imagine not at least letting you know what I'm doing. I want you to be a part. These are the things that come with it. You can always quit, which by the way, I always say, I don't want them to quit, but I'm like, you can always quit. It's not a phone contract that you're locked in for 3 years. You can always quit, but here's what I know to be true about it. And I just told them the little bit that I knew. And what's funny, that big fear that I felt about telling people, what do they think about me? Ugh, what if they don't sign up? What if they think I'm weird? What if they talk about me? What if they that big fear and that what if, the more I talked to people and the more I started saying, well, this is what I know. I don't know that much, but I like it. I don't know that much, but this is fun. I don't know that much, but I made $50. My fear and my what ifs started to minimize. And like I said earlier, I packaged those puppies FedEx and I overnighted them to like Zimbabwe. So in some field, like in Zimbabwe, is all my fears and my anxieties because I could not function with them wrapped around my heart, wrapped around my emotions and my life every day. And you know what happens, guys? You start to live a life of freedom, but it's one step at a time. So today, when you watch this video, you've got to move past your fear and think about others than just how you feel. I know you're scared because I was too. I know it feels weird, but here's the bottom line. What if Shalene and Christine had never shared this with me? What if something happened? What if Janelle hadn't shared this with her coaches? Aaron, Molly, Jen. What if I hadn't shared this with you? What other people think about us doesn't matter. Their opinions don't pay our bills. Their opinions don't raise our children. Their opinions aren't married to our husbands and wives, and their opinions can never thwart our forward progress unless we let them. I have to read something to you. I know you didn't ask for this, but when I read this section, this little Bible study I'm doing, I was like blown away. Many of us are people pleasers or approval junkies. That's probably why we run so fast at challenges sometimes. But then when we don't get that approval we need, or we get it and we still feel empty, we're like, what's wrong? I need to do better. I need to work harder. I need more. And let me just lovingly tell you this. People pleasers and approval junkies consistently have to seek acceptance from others. But what that does, it only leads to future bondage and a deep need that we have that will never be met by others' approval. So, in your pursuit to Emerald and Emerald Plus, which by the way, once we get to Emerald, that has to be the new norm. We can't be like, I was Emerald and then the sky dropped. It's a constant moving process. I want you to be Emerald Plus, which is one on each leg, plus another one on each leg. It's like you go Emerald, and then you plan to go Emerald again. And then you go Emerald again, and then you go Emerald again, and again, and again, and again. And then a couple of those Emeralds go Emeralds, and boom, next thing you know, you're Diamond. And then Diamond is the new norm. Not that I'm pushing you to go crazy, but push your fear aside. Overnight it to Zimbabwe if you want. Tell people just, this is why I signed up, or this is why I like it. I think it would be so fun. Would you be interested in? Would you maybe just want to try it for a few months? Like I've said to so many people this very thing. I know you're not 100% sure on Shakeology, but you might as well become a coach or a discount member because it's the same price. Get a challenge pack. And then statistics have shown that if people are on Shakeology for a consistent 3 months, that's when they see the biggest amount of benefit. And that's true. You can Google it. You can research Shakeology. When people are on it consistently for 3 months, they're like, they see the biggest amount of results. So I tell people, that's a thought. Of course, I want you to be with me for life, but 3 months is a good goal. There's something about people want to, like the escape route. They want to know where the back door is because I need to get out. Tell them. But this is an opportunity and a chance to change everything. And I wanted to tell you my stats earlier, and I'm not, telling you this because I want to toot my own horn, but just know that chubby girl is not the chubby girl anymore. All of those doubts I had in my head have been worked out and worked through, I believe, of course, from God, but through this business and personal development. Like, there's so much to be done. So I went from that girl that barely knew this business. We now have 4 business centers. I've hit 15-star diamond in my 1 business center. We're star diamond on all of our other business centers. We've had about 10 different people quit their jobs to just do this business. I've helped multiple people lose over 80 pounds. We've been a millionaire quite a few times, almost to our 4th time now. And not that we'd ever done it for money, but I just want to prove to you, if this chubby, non-athletic or unathletic girl can have that happen for their family just by pushing fear aside and running towards what I feel is my purpose, so can you. Fear, bad word, 4-letter word. Let's push it out of our lives. Be focused on the task, not the outcome. And just tell your friends and family members and acquaintances, I don't know everything, but this is what I do know. And get them in. You guys are doing great. Let's do this. And then I hope you have the great rest of your weekend.